Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to episode 74 of the Casual Weebs podcast. So sorry guys, we missed last week, but I did drop a tier list for the summer season. It was a mess, it was difficult, but it was a ton of fun. Listen, only two S-tier must-watch animes. I'm not going to spoil them. If you want to know them, go check out the video, but let us know in the comments down below. What do you think is a must-watch from this anime season, Blake? What would you say is a must-watch from this season? It's stacked. It's tough.
It's tough to pick only one, but since
I
I'm,
picked
I'm
two.
a
You
little
can pick as many.
biased, must watch. I would definitely say Gachiakuta.
Okay.
Phenomenal premiere, really unique, cool story. Plus, it's new, it's fresh. I think Gachiakuta is a must watch. I'm gonna go with The Summer Hikaru Died. I think it's also kind of different. I love the vibe. The creepy horror aspect is really cool. And in a season where we're packed with movies and awesome animes that are kind of shonen based or like combat based, I feel like The Summer Hikaru Died gives you a lot of excitement, but not like combat based, a different kind of vibe. So I go with those two.
I completely agree with you there. I'm not going to spoil where I put the Summer Hikaru Died, but I did say in that video that I really like how it's, like, unique. You know what I mean? I feel like it is the most unique anime of this season. We usually don't get any, like, creepy kind of horror animes, and honestly, they're pretty good. And this one definitely hits on the creepy aspect. I forgot to bring it up, but you know, in this like the picture of like the real chicken that was like shown in like one or two of the episodes, someone commented was talking about how the artist tweeted that the chicken was eventually cooked and it tasted great. So the chicken did not go to waste, guys. That was in the picture, and apparently it was phenomenal. So you gotta love that. But anyways, guys, let us know in the comments down below. What do you think is a must-watch from this season? Again, there's a lot to choose from. Also, this episode is absolutely jam-packed. We are going to be dropping, alongside this podcast, the 2B Hero X video. We kind of do one after every single arc. This one's a bit special. We are doing the Johnny's arc, which was damn good. And then also the tower episode that we keep referring it to because in the schedule that they release, it's a picture of a tower with some question marks. We're like, what is this episode going to be? It was a fucking civil war. It was a war between heroes. So we're not going to get into it here because I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen it. But if you dropped 2B Hero X or you've kind of taken a break because you've been super busy because there's so much anime going on, I highly recommend getting back into 2B Hero X. It is phenomenal. It's back. And I mean, it had our jaws on the floor. Such a good past 4 episodes. Go check out that video if you are interested. And then also, I got into a new manhwa. Gonna be dropping a video on that at the end of this week, early next week. It's a romance that has so much drama in it. Listen, if you like romances, if you like dramas, check out that video. I'll be going over what that manhwa is and kind of a little bit about it. It is phenomenal. But 2 things from the last podcast episode. First of all, I apologize. I did not do my due diligence. Thank you to who commented saying that, hey, dumbasses, Takapi Original Sin is in fact over. When I saw like a Reddit thread, people talking about it and saying it was ongoing, it's probably from like a while ago. I just wasn't paying attention to it. I did double check. It is completely finished. So I gotta say, a banging 6 episodes. Absolutely phenomenal. Well deserved with the high rating. I mean, it was really, really good. If you haven't seen it, go check that out. Takapi Original Sin was absolutely incredible. And then also, which is segueing into this episode, Gachiakuta. I brought up last episode that someone was talking about was my favorite thing on TikTok, that people are like, they're hopping on the trend early, you know what I mean? Like, here are my favorite characters before they get animated and become, like, super overhyped. I want to be there early, kind of be like, hey, I love this person before everybody else, right? And I'm loving it because it kind of gives you a little sneak peek of what's to come without spoiling anything. Someone brought up, like, Amo. I'm going to call her Amo. I'm pretty sure that's how you can pronounce her name. They brought her up saying, yo, she's my favorite character. I can't wait until she gets animated because part of the community is going to hate her, and part of the community is going to completely goon over her. I'm like, yo, I love the duality because it's fun, right? It creates the kind of like banter in the community. I mean, Aaron had it with Attack on Titan. Some of the community hated him, some of them absolutely worshipped him, and the people take it too far sometimes, absolutely, but for the most part, it's a lot of fun. I gotta take that back. I don't know what the fuck that person was talking about. Since then, I have, gotten into the manga. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't. I completely binged it. I absolutely love it, dude. That series, the manga, dude, the art, it's so fucking good. I should have gone into it sooner. I gotta be honest, boys, we're in for a treat. Not spoiling anything, we are in for a treat. But, with that being said, I got to Ama's part. I got to her backstory. Yeah, no one's hating her, and no one's gooning over her. If you do, the council's gonna have to decide on the punishment. Yeah, like, what is the matter with you? What is the matter with you? Absolutely insane. But I cannot wait for her to get animated. I think the community's absolutely gonna love her. She's one of those characters that's like, protect at all costs. She is the GOAT. She's amazing. And when she gets animated and we get her backstory, I cannot wait to dive in and talk about it because it is, 1, devastating, and 2, just absolutely insane. It kind of really gets into Gachiakuta. You know what I mean? It's a world of trash. It's not pleasant. It's not nice. I mean, people were even talking about that with Rio, where, like, in some of the scenes in the newer episodes, she's, like, really skinny. It's like, brother, like, yeah, they're malnourished. Like, they don't really have food down there. So, yeah, Gachiakuta, it's not all, sunshine and rainbows, all right? And I cannot wait for a lot of these scenes coming up. But let's get into the scenes that we have gotten so far. Dude, some of these fights are absolutely insane. Like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Rudo's popping off.
Dude, crazy. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
from the fight from Zanka and we kind of got introduced to Jabber at the end of
Mm-hmm.
episode 4, I believe. One, I love Jabber's personality.
So
Makes
good.
for a perfect villain. He's gonna be a fan favorite. I think he's awesome. He's got that crazy, like, demonic personality, real masochist. He stabs himself at one point, like,
Yeah.
just fucking crazy. And I thought it was really interesting, between the two episodes, 5 and 6, you get Jabber versus Zanka, which really good rivalry, really good fights throughout the manga. Will not be the last time they meet. So like that set up really well. But then he fights Rudo, and it's way more like even, and you can kind of see more of Rudo's potential and his abilities.
Yeah.
And Zanka was like the one training him. So I thought it was kind of funny that they like, depending on the matchup or the personalities or whatever, it's not necessarily as easy as like, 1, 2, 3, 4 as far as our like main cleaners, how strong they are.
Mm-hmm.
Love the fight, super super good. I feel like now we're really getting into the core of what Gachiakuta is.
Oh my god, and yeah, we really are, and I cannot wait to dive deeper and deeper because the story really does get absolutely phenomenal. The characters are incredible, and Jabber is that indicator where when he shows up, shit's about to go down. If Jabber appears on
Yeah.
screen, expect a 2 to 3 episode fight that is going to be absolutely phenomenal. That's all I'm going to say. We're not going to spoil here, right? We give love to the anime onlys, all right? But that's the only little warning we got here is that Jabber shows up, it's about to get real, and you're absolutely right. It really depends on like the power system. It's not like okay, this person's just better than these people down here. It really depends on the matchup. And like Jabber and Rudo is such a good pairing because Rudo is able to just kind of adapt anything, and Jabber is so good fight wise. Like Jabber's abilities are like really interesting, and we're gonna get more and more into that. But like he's so good. Like Jabber is an example of good mastery. You know what I mean? Where it's like you have your ability, but he understands it so well, and he's able to use it in so many different ways, which makes him such a difficult opponent. But Rudo being able to turn anything into, a weapon and it's always different, like that is such a good pairing, and I cannot wait to see the rest of this fight because I feel like we're getting the second phase of it next episode, and like it's really really good. But yeah, Jabber is easily a fan favorite. He's goated. I absolutely love him.
Super super cool. And I thought it was really interesting. One thing I noticed in episode 6 was Jabber immediately goes to like analyze Rudo's powers or like what his jinky is like, and he's wrong at first. Like he totally thinks he's got it and he's incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
But like maybe 5 minutes into this episode, he starts like changing his kind of like his assessment of his powers. Like, oh, he's not able to just like make anything out of anything. He's drawing the utmost power out of these vital instruments,
Mm-hmm.
which we get with kind of the like the talisman or the charm that Grease has. He makes that super sick like 4-armed hand with an eye on it. I don't
Yeah.
even know what you would call it. Really super cool. And they absolutely crushed that panel from the manga where he's got like his hands up and like all the other hands around him.
Yes.
It's like so perfectly done. But I thought it was cool that like it was like a good writing aspect that Jabber like was pretty dead wrong about Rudo's powers at first, but as he was like losing this fight, in the moment he like changes his opinion, he kind of like starts to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was like a cool piece of writing too.
Well, it's crazy because everyone was wrong about his powers. Chris even said it. He's like, wow. And the way they worded it was beautiful.
Yes.
Where they're like he brings out the full potential of the object. And I'm like, damn. And I don't know if they explained it yet, but that's why like it disintegrates because he brings out absolutely every ounce that it can offer. And then once he's done with it, it has nothing left. You know what I mean? So like it's such an amazing thing. I mean, when they kind of like realize that, and then it's like, oh yeah, Rudo's like that guy, like he's that powerful. I don't know. I feel like that's just absolutely insane. I cannot wait for more of that. And yeah, Jabber picked up on it pretty quickly too. Because he even kind of like noticed, he's like, oh wow, you need to have like ill intent. You know what I mean? You need to want to harm the person, and he kind of understood what that charm kind of meant. Because Rudo even said, he's like, oh yeah, Chris like prayed to this, making it that everyone would come back safely. And he's like, oh, well, okay, based on that and based on the rubble not like moving and you had to dodge it, he was able to kind of assess like how to take on Rudo, which I thought was really impressive. And that's also gonna be so obnoxious for enemies moving forward, is that every time Rudo like finds a new like vital instrument, you know what I mean? Something new to give life to, it's like you're gonna have to like relearn what it does. You know what I mean? It's not like you're gonna be able to face Rudo and be like, oh yeah, here's what his powers do, and then be better at the next time. You're gonna be like, all right, we have to like relearn what the fuck does this do. You know what I mean? What does this object do now? So I feel bad for Ruto's enemies. It's gonna be annoying every time you face him.
Yeah, and like we still haven't gotten, as anime onlys,
Yeah.
we haven't gotten like the true nature of his gloves and some of the other
Hmm.
abilities that are in, or like powers that are in this world.
Hmm.
But you're exactly right. Like Ruto is probably the worst matchup in this whole verse, as far as we know so far, because he can make anything powerful. But you're exactly right. Like you don't know what it is. It's not like Engine's umbrella that's going to be, his weapon every single time, or Zanka's
Yeah.
staff, or Rio's scissors. His gloves can basically turn anything into an extremely viable and powerful weapon, which I think sets Ruto up to be like super OP, but at the same time, like a very interesting character because he still needs something to draw the power out of. But like you saw with Grease, like he gets a good item, you're in trouble as an enemy.
Yeah, but I guess that's gonna be Ruto's downfall is that you kind of need a good item. You know what I mean? You kind of need something to bring to its full potential. So I feel like that could be it's Ruto's surroundings. That could be his kind of like weakness because it's kind of like you have whatever's at hand and just kind of hope it's good. It's more of like a gamble. He's either gonna be super overpowered or ooh this isn't a good matchup type of thing. But that is cool for anime only watchers. We will I think kind of get into his gloves in this first season, which is nice. That is something we can look forward to, and it's gonna be really cool. But yeah, Jabber definitely bringing a lot of fans to the beginning of Gachiakuta, and I mean he kind of really sets the tone too for like the fights. I feel like the fights are like severely underrated in Gachiakuta because it's like all right, you have amazing characters, a really good story, and also these fights are going to be some of the best that we see in anime. They are so good, and I'm not gonna lie, Jabber is one of the characters that kind of carries them. There's a couple characters in Gachiakuta where if they're fighting, lock in. You know what I mean? And Jabber's definitely one of them.
Dude, you're so right. And like, obviously having a little manga foresight, if
Hmm.
Jabber is on screen, shit is about to get real.
Hmm.
And it's like always entertaining too. Part of it is his personality, but like also his fight style. And he's a pretty devious motherfucker. Like we
Yeah.
saw, he was like, all right, basically got beat in round one. Round two, I'm going to stab myself. I'm going to go completely insane and bring out a whole new set of moves. And you can see Ruto at the end. It's kind of like, oh shit, like what is he doing? So Jabber is 110% committed. He's an awesome villain.
You know what? You know what he is? He's the never let them know your next move. Because that is exactly how it is. Every time he fights, it's like, wait, what the fuck? Like, who expected that? Who expected Jabber to be like, oh, you need ill intent in order to like be able to like block? Okay, cool. I'm gonna stab myself and knock myself. It's like, who would do that mid fight? Just be like, oh, let me just lose consciousness. Let me just attack myself. It's like, you psychopathic shithead. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's absolutely
Yeah.
insane. And it's his fight style. It's his personality. He's just that kind of guy. He's that level of like crazy, but like it's awesome. And that's why you can't help but like even as a villain, love him. I mean, I absolutely love this guy. And if you don't love him, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. He's got to be one of my favorites. I know he's a lot of people's favorites. I know a lot of people when they're kind of talking about, hey, my favorite, Gachiakuta characters. He's definitely up there. But I feel like he makes fights really fun. You know what I mean? Is that like a weird thing? Like whenever he fights, it's just super interesting.
He reminds me of like Luffy in a way, and like for those who are
Yeah.
caught up in One Piece, like you take the goofiness of Gear 5 and like at times it's badass, but at times it's really funny and comical. You get that from Jabber, but it's like dark and twisted and like masochistic. Like I
Hmm.
want to say like a mirror to Gear 5 Luffy in like a negative way, which I think makes for an outstanding character, especially in this world where like a lot of things feel unconventional. You're in a trash world for starters.
Yeah, dude, you're absolutely right, and I didn't even like think of that, but like that, it's so true. So again, absolutely amazing. I'm absolutely loving so far. We're 6 episodes in, an amazing 6 episodes. Plenty more to go though, boys. We're not halfway through yet. We're like 25% of the way, so we have plenty more
Yes.
time. We have plenty more coming up. It is absolutely incredible. But let's get into Kaiju 8. Kaiju 8. I want to skip to the end here. He's back. Kaiju 10. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, wait, what? Like, there's so much to talk about in these past 2 episodes. Because, I mean, Kaiju 9 transforms. He's an absolute beast. He's insane now. A true villain, right? Because he got worked in Season 1. Season 2, he's not someone to fuck with. I mean, taking out Shinomiya's dad? Bro, like, tell me he's not... Don't spoil it, but tell me he's not dead. Tell me that's not the end. Like...
That's not the end, brother.
I hope not.
No, like he still plays a big part through the rest of the show, but just these few episodes, I think, kind of put the rest of Kaiju number 8. It's a very short story overall. Like, I
Yeah.
would be surprised if it went longer than 3 seasons, 3 or 4 max,
Mhm.
which is cool. Like, it's concise. This is our story. Kaiju number 9 is our main villain. He's our main antagonist. And this, I guess, episode 6 really put that in perspective.
Mhm.
I mean, you had Gen, Captain Narumi fighting 100%, 98%. He had the suit maxed out. He was using both his Kaiju weapons. and Kafka finally gets it together and transforms, and they didn't even really make a dent into Kaiju other than his drawbacks on absorbing somebody so strong like Shinomiya's dad, which the fight was incredible. I knew as soon as like they brought it up, either earlier in the episode or towards the end of episode 5, his like vice director was like, you're too old, like you shouldn't do that. I don't want to see you go out on the battlefield type
Mm-hmm.
conversation. And then they show him like not at his desk. It's like, oh no, no, no. Just knew something bad was gonna happen, and it was like kind of the classic, oh, he's getting old. He was strong, but he's old now, like trope. But he
Mm-hmm.
still put up a hell of a fight against, the most powerful version of Kaiju 9 we've seen yet that even Captain Narumi and Kafka, like at full power, couldn't take down.
Well, they couldn't even take him down when he was nerfed, and that's like my hope, right? That's my hope that Shinomiya's dad is still gonna somehow be around and be okay. Because right now he absorbed Shinomiya's dad, but he's saying that there is like a defect, right? He's denying it. You know what I mean? He needs to like fully absorb and has to be successful. Like right now, it's like not working. You know what I mean? So because of that, he's not able to like heal as well as he usually can. So the fact that Narumi and Kafka are getting like kind of worked, and Kaiju 9 is severely nerfed, you know what I mean? He's probably like what 50% right now, and they still can't make a dent. Like that is insane. But that is kind of our hope that the absorption fails, and Shinamiya's dad's alright. That's our one hope that we're hoping on right now. But like, dude, Kaiju 9, I feel like is so much cooler this season. I liked him last season. I thought it was really cool how he can transform, and it was more of like a stealthy kind of enemy. You know what I mean? Because he can like shapeshift into a human and like infiltrate. But the fact that he's got like just insane strength at this season, it's like, yo, these fights are going to be insane. And then at the end, they kind of just like were like, hey, by the way, guys, Kaiju 10's still alive. Bro, he just walks up and he's like, how was your nap? And I'm like, what the fuck? You guys kept him alive? Like, are you guys insane? Like, bro, everyone's losing their goddamn minds in anime right now.
Dude, insane episode when you know the scale of like
Mm-hmm.
all the little stuff we were shown these 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to quick say, I just had to look it up. Production IG is animating Kaiju number 8, and like the art director and everybody who did that, this is like one of the reasons watching anime is so cool, and like you can really enjoy a manga, but the anime hits different. I read the whole manga, and like you can tell his face got bigger and like his body got bigger, but they changed the color, they changed like his voice. He feels like a whole different character, way stronger than just like kind of reading it. So I really appreciated that, and it was like, oh shit, like he's purple, he's got these wings. Like I think it hits a little harder when it's animated.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is a phenomenal villain. He's got some crazy powers, and it was kind of cool to see him like level up and adapt. But now everybody knows his game. He's adapting to these abilities, these attacks. Narumi kicked his butt when he was on top of the spider, Kaiju number 9.
Yeah.
When they fought the second time, there was like literally no chance between him and Kafka. So it kind of like put, I'm not gonna power scale Kaiju number 8, but you know what I mean. It still put him above everybody we've seen in the show thus far.
Yeah, it was insane too. Is that like Kafka's not transforming back? That is also a little twist that I like. It's so obvious that they do something like that, but like, I didn't think of. You know what I mean? Like his hand now isn't like kind of like turning back, and it's like, yo, is it gonna get to the point where like Kafka like I don't think he'd like fully be a kaiju and it's like, oh no, he's a bad guy now, we need to kill him and that's how it ends. But like that would be fucking sick. As someone who likes like devastating anime, it's like, yo, that would fuck some people up, like including me. Like that'd be awesome. I'm just saying in some alternate timeline that'd be so sick, if that's the way it ended. But like it's insane how it's completely different now. I liked how they came back and we kind of came full circle a little bit, where Cock was like, all right, they're letting me out of base for a couple hours, my life's completely different when I come back. He's like, I'm going to be under constant moderation. I'm going to be like under lock and key. Like they're going to have to like monitor me to make sure like I'm not like going to be an evil, dude. And he went back to the cleanup crew. And I love how the bodyguards were like, yo, like we're just watching Kaiju 8 play with chainsaw now. It's like, what the fuck, sis? I didn't sign up for this. But it was like such like a wholesome and touching moment. It was a little sad because I was like, you can tell Kafka was like saying goodbye and like they didn't know it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, bro, like this is where we started. So it's insane of like where we've got into since episode 1. It's incredible, and I cannot wait for the rest. And it's also just sad because I know it's over soon. Like the manga's already done, and it's not like it's super far ahead. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's not gonna have like too many seasons left. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, all right, it feels like we're starting, like we're at the beginning of the end game. You know what I mean? Like this is where the end starts. So I thought it was like a very nostalgic, like aspect to the episodes. But the fight was incredible. We had the shock at the end with Kaiju 10, and I mean we just had a lot of like insane moments. I feel like the ending now, I didn't appreciate it enough in the beginning. We kind of mocked it a little bit, like, oh, why is it like this kind of like sad song? At first, it didn't have any cinematic. It brought in the cinematic when Shinomiya's dad got absorbed, and it's like,
Ah,
bro, it had me like just dead. I was like, no, don't do this to me. Like, wow, did I underestimate this? But now, like, it captures this season where it has like the nostalgia feel, where it's like, Shinmi's dad might be dead. Kafka might not change back. We're kind of getting towards the end here. I feel like we're gonna end up losing some people. It's like, bro, like I feel like this season's gonna have a ton of like really good fights. It's gonna have a lot of really good twists and turns that we've already had. But I feel like it's gonna have a lot of those moments where it's like, shit, like we're in our feels a little bit here. So I feel like season two is absolutely killing it because it's just so well rounded. I don't know how someone after the beginning, actually the beginning with Kafka, being the old man that can't do anything. I can see you being upset by that, but so far these past couple episodes, I don't know how you can't love this season. This season is really taking off.
I totally agree, dude. I think it just reaffirms that Kaiju number eight's like one of these elite new gen
Yeah.
animes or mangas, however you consume it. But this episode really put forth a lot of like major themes and plot points that
Mm-hmm.
take us to the end of the story. Kaiju number 10, it was just a little cliffhanger at the very end of the episode, but obviously that has huge implications when we know, Kafka and Kaiju number 8, but also Shinomiya was using Kaiju number two's powers, which are now Kaiju number nine's.
Yeah.
But he also, they also kind of used his DNA to make Shinomiya's axe. So like you can kind of see where they're going, like, let's fight fire with fire based on all the success and strength that Kaiju number 8 has. And I think they're going to kind of lean on that a little more, especially with the director out, who's, was at one point, this unbeatable hero.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you though. Like this season, it was kind of cool seeing that, like, we've got to this point, we're saying goodbye to like the stuff we saw in season one, like Kafka's committing to the defense force. There's a chance he might not ever change back next time he transforms. And, it's going to change things for Kafka and, obviously the other people he's working with too, like the squad members. So you're right. It was a bit nostalgic, but also like, all right, like shit's about to get real and like it's pedal to the metal now. And I think that's like a really big plus too. Like the pacing is still really good, but at the same time, like there's still a lot more with like the other characters that we have to get into too. And like, I really didn't think the director would play that big of a part until, yeah, obviously this episode and, 5 and 6, he steps up and you get some consequences. So season 2 has been fire. I think it is a little more intense than season 1, but and also the scene where he's like afraid to transform and then he like almost gets there and then he just like punches a hole through Shinomiya. I'm like, oh my god, like what the fuck? Like, so, random jump scare there. It was like, all right, I'm with you, Kafka. I was a little too critical before, but yeah, that was a tough nightmare there.
Yeah, for real. But like you were saying too, like they're fighting fire with fire. They're using a lot of like kaiju weapons. I'm interested to see what other drawbacks there are because Shinomiya, like the Shinomiya's dad, like they talked about whenever he used those gloves, it took years off of his life. And that was the whole thing where he was kind of going all out at the end. We're like, hey man, like there's no coming back from that. Like you're kind of like signing your death warrant by doing that in the first place. And he's like, fuck it, like this is my last resort. I'm gonna die either way if I don't do this. And he just went for it. So and now we have Kafka who can't change back. We have a lot of other people that are using kaiju weapons as well. You know what I mean? So I wonder if there's gonna be even more drawbacks. Because isn't Narumi using two? He has his eyes and then also like his like spear thing, his like part spear, part sword thing. So, like, I'm wondering if there's going to be even more drawbacks and even more consequences that we have yet to see.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's also like, you're getting stronger and you have these opportunities for power-ups for the defense force. But at the same time, we've seen with Kafka and with Shinomiya's dad, there's drawbacks to it.
Yeah.
So, like, it is a gamble in a sense that you're becoming way stronger. But at the same time, there are drawbacks and it could literally kill you or turn you into a full kaiju.
And it also kind of makes you wonder, what are the plans with Kaiju 10? What are you guys cooking up with him? Like, what's next episode gonna look like? Like, what the fuck is happening, bro? When I saw him, I was so shocked. I was like, no way. No way they're that dumb, but no way that actually happened. Like I genuinely can't even think of, like, what they might do, like, with him.
All I'm going to say is it's very interesting, it's very cool, and it won't be the last time you get this this interaction with somebody in another numbered kaiju.
Oh, dude, I'm so stoked. What I'm also really interested to see what they do in the future was Kaiju 9 said this to Shinomiya is that he's like, Kaiju 2, I'm bringing you back to life. And at first, I didn't think he was absorbing him to like take his powers. I'm like, oh, look at me, like he has a fucking infinity stones. I thought he was gonna like reincarnate Kaiju 2. I'm wondering if they're gonna do more with that. Like, is Kaiju 9 gonna like try to like bring back past Kaijus? Is he gonna try to collect their powers, like make him even more powerful? Like, I feel like the past is gonna come back. I feel like we didn't just come full circle with Kafka. I feel like there's a lot more at play, and I feel like the stage is going to be set for a grand ending. You know what I mean? And it's going to be absolutely insane.
This man is cooking. This man is cooking right now. Beautiful work, brother. Beautiful work. I'm not saying nothing. Keep my mouth closed.
Bro, honestly, you've been hyping up the Kaiju 8 manga, And after your calls with Gachiakuta, I think for sure after season 2, I mean, we're halfway through it now. I feel like after season 2, I'm going to have to finish it. I feel like I'm going to have to catch up, get the ending, and I feel like we need to make a manga video on Kaiju 8, the manga, and talk all about it. Because I don't think I can wait for season 3. I don't think I can.
I don't know how long we'll have to wait, but it's incredibly short. I want to say 119 chapters, but I could be wrong. Could be a little more, but it's still under 130. Like after the season, it's like a quick read, incredibly entertaining. The art is awesome. So I'm down with a manga video for sure.
And guys, if you're liking it, honestly, I might recommend getting into the manga because mangas do have some insane art. I love both reading it and having the anime, but I mean, like, it's absolutely insane because it's like, is it even gonna take that long? I mean, season 1 and season 2, we're not far apart, you know what I mean? And it seems like they are trying to rapidly get these animes out with like Kaiju 8, Dandadan, Sakamoto Days. There's a lot that's coming back with new seasons. Frierin's already coming back with a new season. That had an insanely long season 1 with like 24 episodes. We're getting that in January now. You know what I mean? So I feel like they're like starting to produce anime way faster. So would we have to wait a long time for season 3? Would we? I'm not sure. At the same time, though, they're taking ages with Demon Slayer. I'm hearing that Demon Slayer, those movies, are going to take like a while in between.
Which, like, I'm always, as a greedy fan, I'm always like, I want it now. I want To Be Hero X now. But like all the movies and like the depth that goes into it, and I kind of learned this with the Fate series, which I check every week to see if they fucking put that episode up, episode 2.
Bro,
and they haven't. Don't worry, they still haven't.
What are they taking so long for? When is that coming? I thought this was supposed to be this season.
They just said, oh yeah, this year. We'll let you know. So I have no idea. But the Fate series really taught me, like, especially with movies, I'm okay with like a big break in between because you usually do get good payoff and like really, really good quality.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but you're definitely right. Anime feels a little more competitive and like this space where Bleach is out of the way, Naruto's out of the way. You still got One Piece, which is kind of on top for, good reason.
Yeah.
But like this headspace of like the most popular animes is still kind of up for grabs. And I think it changes obviously with recency bias and what's popular in the season, but I think like studios are putting them out a little quicker to try and keep not necessarily relevant, but like at the top of relevancy.
Yeah.
So you're right. Maybe you won't have to wait a long time. And Kaiju number 8, regardless, is, like I said, an elite new gen anime, and will have that popularity regardless of the wait time between season 2 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely loving it. I think that they will deliver with that season 3. It's just a matter of how much they want to put into the animation. I don't know what kind of fights we got coming up. I don't know how much is going to need to go into that. You know what I mean? Like with Demon Slayer, the reason why it's taking a long time is because the animation toll, like the amount of work that goes into that is a lot. Kaiju 8, not as much, but at the same time, we don't know what they have cooking in store for season 3. They might go all out. They might be like, hey, let's kind of keep with the, typical quality we have. It's still good. People love it, and we can get it to people sooner. So I'm definitely excited regardless. It's absolutely incredible. I think season 2 is really starting to pick up now. Like I said, I can see why people were upset in the beginning of season 2, but now it's really heating up, really getting good, and I feel like the end of the season is going to be phenomenal. 6 more episodes, boys. Sadly, we're not getting 24, but I'm okay. I'm okay with it. We got season 2 pretty quick.
Yeah, buckle in. These next 6 episodes will definitely, I feel like, set us up for, we'll have a lot of information as far as what to expect moving forward for season 3 and, towards the end of the series.
Yeah.
I love it. It kind of sucks when it's short, like the time is ticking, but like the amount of like content and excitement that we'll have moving forward, it's totally worth it. It'll be electric.
Yeah, I have absolutely no doubt. I don't think any of us are ready, but, we're all here for it. Let's get into Dandadan, though. I want to talk about how this is probably one of the most well-rounded shonens there are. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if people are still pissed, because I know they were pissed from, like, an episode or 2 ago, but I am loving this slice-of-life aspect, where they're getting way more into the romance side. Let's be honest. In shonen, we have, the male MC, super strong, very stereotypical, but he has that, like, love interest, right? That ship. That one where everyone's like, oh my god, him and this character.
Bro.
And they always ignore it. They don't do shit until, like, the very end, and they kind of just throw them together, like Naruto, just saying.
Naruto, Bleach,
JJK, borderline.
No, definitely well. JJK.
Yeah.
The ending, I've bitched to you many a weeks about my feelings on the JJK ending. They do that same thing. Another very, very popular anime that's coming out this season. I don't want to spoil it because I don't want to go that far ahead. But they do the exact same thing. It's like, oh, here's our, extra chapters, and it just like clears up all the relationships and stuff. It's like, you don't have to like dive too hard into the romance, but Dandadan does it perfectly. Like, a couple like emotional scenes, or like, the scene with Momo and Ken in the car, she like grabs his hand, like, Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Like
when he
you
goes to
could do
walk her
it.
home and she grabs his hand, it's like just the little things when you add in that slice of life where it's like, oh, it makes sense. You're not just like, hey, I guess you guys kind of like wanted them to get together. Let's do a half-ass shitty rush job at the end. You built it up.
Or you have a relationship where like Naruto chases another woman for 500 episodes, and her love interest ignores her for the whole show, and then Kishimoto's like, nope, they did fall in love after everything they went through. The fuck out of here! He didn't pay attention to her. Naruto was the real trophy.
Bro, like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the love interests in Naruto were just so bad. They were so
The,
horribly done.
the only one that really saw it through from the beginning, Ino and Shikamaru. That was the
Yeah.
real couple. They were in love since the tuning exams. I respect it.
Yo, and it was like done well because it actually showed like a little bit of flirting throughout the series. I remember when she came to visit on
Yes.
behalf of like this ant village, and she was like, oh, and he like greeted her, and he was like, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, you my guide, and they're kind of like flirting back and forth with that about her, him being her guide and shit. I'm like, yo, like yeah, like little things like that is great, but like Shonen like always ignores it when it's right there, and I feel like they do it so poorly. Dandadan though, I feel like you're killing it when it comes to the fight scenes. The fight scenes are phenomenal. They're really really good. The characters are great. The animation's awesome. The story is really good. We have the funny moments. There's so many comical moments in Dandadan. It's awesome. The slice of life aspects of it is really nice. You're letting the anime breathe, right? It doesn't feel all rushed. It doesn't feel like we're going from fight to fight to fight, right? And then you have this love interest that you're actually like giving attention to. Like this has to be the most well-rounded shonen that there is. It's insane. I gotta give credit where credit's due. The first episode, we're never gonna get past that. We're never gonna get past the first episode. But other than that, if you just
Yeah.
delete it, you know what I mean? It has to be okay. I'm dead serious. If you get rid of the first episode of Dandadan, I honestly think it really is like a top shonen like all time because it is really well-rounded in every aspect of it. It does really well. Again, that first episode is just like it kind of like gatekeeping the anime.
I would definitely say it's probably the most well-rounded new gen. I
Hmm.
would probably have to take like a really serious look at what I think is the best right now, but it would be up there easily,
Yeah.
fighting for the top spot. I think it does everything incredibly well. And like just to touch on your point, the fights are cool, the romance, the characters, they add new characters and give them like depth. They don't just like pop them in and out,
Hmm.
like cheaply. Like a Kappa Man. Ken goes to like try and train with him. He's basically like, yeah, no, but help me move these boxes. Like there's funny moments
Hmm.
and like the side characters do matter. But to your point, like in I think it's episode 7, Ira's following them to the school like before they go to this training arc, and they like literally run away from her, and she literally turns into acrobatic Silky, uses her hair, and it's like an over the shoulder shot of Turbo Granny, like, oh shit, like trying to run away. It was like, they had no reason to like make that scene so dynamic, and it was awesome.
Hmm.
So like even little details like that I think make Dandadan really good, because you have like the deep impactful moments and the great fights, but also like the funny shit that like makes it entertaining. Like they're talking Turbo Granny's talking about like his battle cadence, and it's like the 1 2 1
Yep.
2. He's just like jumping there like in his little hoodie. Ira's in the back like ashamed of her behavior. Like shit like that is just so funny. So I'm definitely with you. I think Dandadan is peak.
And I didn't even think about it until like you kind of like said it, where like it also is like very grounded too. But you have moments that are like very like deep as well. Like the whole thing with the evil eye, like that is a very like like kind of a deep subject where like Gigi just wanted to be his friend. Like he just never had a friend, and it's become this whole complicated thing where like you can understand where Gigi came from when he kind of got into this. You can understand where the evil eye came from. You know what I mean? Like is he trying to kill everybody and that's bad? Absolutely. But do you understand why? Absolutely, you know what I mean? And one thing that was touched on this episode that was like really kind of hit hard and I really just felt bad about was when Gigi turned and Momo was almost hurt and Ken throws Gigi off. I was like, oh, bro, because Gigi felt fucking terrible. Gigi, coming back to it
Right.
with his hands around like Momo's throat. That didn't feel good. And then Ken just kind of like pushes you aside. Even the granny kind of comes up and is like, hey kid, like it wasn't your fault. You know what I mean? Like it's all right. And Momo's trying to like reassure him, but like that kind of like stuff, like it has that level of depth to it too, where it's like it's not just really funny, goofy, and like unserious. It has those moments where like they really are serious about certain things, and they do that really, really well. Like I said, like when it comes to Dandadan, I think well-rounded is the best word to describe it because it does everything, and it does it so insanely well. And I cannot wait for this training arc as well because Turbo Granny made a good like point. She's like, "Yo, you have my powers, dumbass. Why are you trying to learn how to fucking punch? Like, I can literally teach you how to use them. I've been complaining for 2 seasons that you're not using my powers correctly, and you're pissing me off, and you never thought to come to me to train you. And she's like, I'm down. And I love how she summoned like spirits to like kind of take on Ken. Like that was the whole thing with the music thing. Like is she was explaining the tempo, but also she summoned those like musical spirits. Now they have to get into a fight, which I'm absolutely stoked for, especially because Ira's there, and it's been a while since we saw Acrobatic Silky get into a fight, so I'm definitely down with that. But like, dude, Dandadan, it's doing so well. It really is. I feel like it's one of those things where I feel like the later it goes on, the more love it's gonna get.
I, as a huge music lover, and we play guitar and stuff, like the tempo, like she hits the tempo thing, and you're like, oh god, I'm back at practice, like. But then you see like the legends. You got Bach, you got Chopin, you got Mozart. Like I thought that was a really creative and cool idea for like these spirits to fight. So I really like that. I think that fight will be sick. But it was really cool to see Turbo Granny like keep her same energy. Like well, you're borrowing my power, and it's really annoying me that you're weak as shit. So let's fix that. Like she goes out of her way to help him, and I thought the line where she was like, so let me ask you again, do you want to learn how to throw a punch or do you want to get strong?
Yeah.
Like she really was going out of her way to help Ken. And I think these last couple episodes, and obviously they did save her, when the volcano was going off and all this stuff. She's kind of gotten a little closer with our main cast, and like now she's willing to help train Ken. So as annoying as she can be for the cast at times, it was really cool to see Turbo Granny kind of be like, all right, let's get Ken a training arc and get a little stronger here.
Yeah, I think Turbo Granny's trying to get used to the life that she has built, because it's nice around them. Let's be honest. It's a pretty good life. And to be honest, when we learn, like, Turbo Granny's backstory, it's not like she's a bad person. You know what I mean? Like, she was helping out, like, all those girls, I believe. So it's like, you kind of understand kind of, like, where she's coming from. She's just a bit aggressive. She's lived for quite some time, so that makes a lot of sense, too. But I completely forgot about it, my fucking dumbass, until you brought up, like, guitars and shit. The concert, first of all, that was immaculate. Absolutely incredible. But also, yeah, Dandadan's getting sued. Dandadan got hit with copyright for it. What's actually really funny is that, so they mimicked that band off of another, like, Japanese band, and the song is very similar. The drummer from the actual band kind of came out and was like, hey, guys, kind of seems like us. So the drummer of that band actually like watched Dandadan, and that's when he kind of took to Twitter and was kind of like, yo, did the production like reach out to us? Like, this kind of seems a little fishy. And then the song blew up, and he's like, hey, your song's doing really well. It sounds super similar to ours. I don't think that that's good. And that's when it became, hey, you got copyright strike. I think they took the song out. And then also I think they're going to court about it, which is just absolutely insane. So I thought I thought the concert was incredible, but now all the controversy over it, I think it's just going to bring more attention to Dandadan. I think it's going to do a good thing.
You're probably right. Any publicity is good publicity.
Absolutely.
And like, as a very unfamous musician myself, if I was kicking back watching anime one day and I heard a similar song, or like you were like, oh, that's my band, I would be geeked out. But like, yeah, you want to get paid, and obviously Dandadan's like prime, peak cinema right now.
Yeah.
You want to get that engagement. So I do understand that, but I mean, I've been on both sides of it. It's like, you add like a Breaking Bad sample in your metal band song. It's like, Walter White's never gonna watch this song or hear this song, like, and then he does. You know what I mean? But I thought that was kind of funny. The concert was super sick though, and I think there's like a really forward aspect now. Maybe like the last 2 or 3 years, where like, and I'm sure it goes back further than that. I'm just like I'm paying more attention to it now. There's a lot of really big bands that are getting into this like anime openings, and doing songs for it. That Pale Dust song that is the opening for Gachiakuta is like 5.5 minutes. It's super popular, and it's a perfect way for you to be like, oh, that was cool. Like, let me check that band out. So I love to see that, and it's kind of like, two things I love. You got music, especially some of the metal bands. You got anime. It's a match made in heaven. So more of that, please.
I mean, the only thing I would be upset about is if I was that band, it'd be like, hey, that's fine. Can I at least voice myself in Dandadan? Like, I just want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, even forget about the money. Yeah, like, that would just be sick. You know what I mean? I'd be kind of annoyed that someone else is kind of, like, playing my part. I'd be like, hey, like, just get me involved. You don't have to pay me. Let's just be a part of it.
I won't even charge you. I won't even charge you. Just let me get my voice acting career started. You know what I mean? It's so true, bro.
Dude, that's the dream. But what's also insane that we also missed out, too, is Momo's new job. Because, of course, Gigi blows up the entire house. I don't think we talked about that yet. Momo's job, fucking... Ken gets kidnapped. Ken just straight up gets kidnapped, gets dragged to this place. His interaction the entire time was so funny. And so, like, they're dragging him, like, hey, if Momo and Gigi got drinks, would that be a date? And he's like, no. As he's freaking out, he just gets real serious. It's like, fine, there we go, and just drags him along. I thought that whole thing was just mad funny, and just, dude, Ken is just so awkward, bro, and I love how they just, like, threw him into that whole mess.
Dude, that was super funny, and it was cool how her friends were like, yeah, you're gonna come see her because she would like that. He's like all like nervous about it. But let's be real. If the chick you had a crush on, you showed up at a maid cafe and you seen her decked out, I would have been like, yo, I feel you, Ken. I'm geeked. It's a little, there's some pressure right now on me.
I forget, what did she say? Did she say "Welcome home, douchebag" or something like that?
Yeah, she, hits her with like the classic like maid idol line, and then she's like, "You fucking shithead" or whatever. Like, just gotta keep it Momo. You know what I mean? I love that. I thought that was great.
Dude, they're like, Mama, you just say "Welcome home." You don't have to say anything else. Just say "Welcome home" and stop talking.
And like she's so embarrassed about it, but then you get the scene, a couple minutes later where he's like, "Oh, it's dangerous to walk home." Man
Our boy,
has his
Ken.
back turned to her. Can't even look at her in her maid outfit, but he still offers to walk her home, and she's like, "All right, yeah, like that is sweet." So again, you get like these funny moments, and then you get like something sweet and emotional.
Well, that was like the best when she's like, "Hey, like I don't, it's gonna be late. It's at 10 o'clock. You get off. Like no, like you're good. Like go home." And he leaves, and she kind of walks outside after her shift, and she's like, "Oh, like, he's not here." But then there comes Ken running up, and I'm like, "Yo, that's our boy." Like, he might be a bit nerdy. He's a gentleman. All right, that's a man right there. Ken is the goat, and I mean, just what a great guy. And then of course, yeah, we brought up before the hand holding scene. It's like the fact that they just incorporate all these little things. It just makes me keep falling in love with Dandadan. And as I was bringing up before, I feel like each of these seasons that he keeps coming out with, it's just gonna get better and better and better. So I'm really excited to see the future of Dandadan. I have no idea how much content we have because, like I said, we have a lot of new gen animes that have been dropping. Some of them are pretty short. We're getting into, Kaiju 8's over, probably one more season. Sakamoto Days is getting towards its end in the manga, at least. I want Dandadan to last fucking ages. I want Dandadan to be that anime that just goes on too long. You know what I mean? I want 7 seasons out of this because the way it's set
Man.
up and the way they portray everything and, tell the story, it's just so good. And at the same time, too, you have endless material because it's not just aliens, it's spirits, it's everything. You know what I mean? I feel like you can just go on and on and on. And I really, really hope they do that. Because the characters, too, are also phenomenal.
I made a huge I made a huge mistake, and I'm like, oh, let's see how much we got left. There's a ton of like characters I haven't we haven't met yet, so that leads me to believe there's a lot more content for Dandadan.
Did you open a
I
chapter?
accidentally clicked. No, I clicked on Togen Anki. It's got 25 volumes, and the cover is a massive spoiler. So I'm like, let me not look at this.
Oh,
I will say though,
geez.
you were right. You were right about what you said, but
Wait, right about what?
that
Which anime?
Togen Anki.
Okay, we'll talk about this later because I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm interested to see what I'm right about.
So that has like 226 chapters. So like, there's a lot of content there. 25 volumes. Dandadan's kind of the same way. Like, I definitely think some of these animes, and Sakamoto Days is the same. It's just a little older.
Yeah.
Where we have like a really good chunk of anime to come out. Assuming it just follows the manga.
Yeah, well, that's also what's crazy. We're talking about longevity here. Did you hear about Lord of the Mysteries, like 10-year roadmap that they fucking dropped?
I actually just tried to catch up with that yesterday.
Yeah.
And I just think I need to binge it. It's very complicated, but it's so fucking sick. It's super cool. But I didn't see like this roadmap.
Yeah, over the next 10 years, they're dropping like 6 seasons and multiple movies. All of it's confirmed already. Like, it's absolutely insane.
That studio is coming for like UFO Table and Mappa. They're like, let me show you how it's done. Again, it's amazing. I think it's an anime that's a little harder to digest than something like Togen Anki, where that's like classic shonen. Where I'd rather watch like a 12-episode chunk and just absolutely binge it, so my little small pea brain can understand the depth of the story just a little bit better.
Dude, I don't blame you. I'm really excited about it, but I'm the same way. I gotta binge it. You know what I mean? I've been waiting for the dub to kind of catch up a little bit because I heard it's a little bit easier. So I'm gonna absolutely binge that. I cannot wait for that. I mean, 10 years you have shit confirmed. That is insane, and that is confident, and I love that. I absolutely love that. But anyways, this week was absolutely phenomenal. Again, we have a lot of content dropping this week, including a manhwa video, 2B Hero X. I cannot wait to get into that. 2B Hero X is, again, killing it. So is there anything you would like to say before we, anything you'd like to add before we end it here?
Everything is popping. I mean, we're like a little bit we're pretty much halfway through most of these, if not a little bit more. So like it's time to lock in and enjoy it. We do have some 24 episode gems with us, and each season we will continue to manifest that with everything. We love our 24 episodes, but shit is peak right now. It's rocking. You could literally just throw a dart and find something outstanding to watch.
That
but
is so true.
Dandadan's been rocking. 2B Hero X is back. Togen Anki's awesome. Kaiju number 8, insane last couple episodes. Really, anything you pick right now, I think, is hitting at the right moment.
I completely agree. We are just absolutely spoiled this season. It is all just so unbelievably phenomenal. And we're at the halfway mark. So you got to imagine how good we're going to get into the close of a lot of these seasons. It's going to be absolutely insane. I'm not ready for it, but I'm excited for it. Anyways, guys, hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your week. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. And that's it. Later, guys. Peace.
Peace.